everyone. Welcome back to Tales of Olympus, and today's story is about Demeter and Persephone. Yes, the story of how Hades kidnapped Persephone. Yup. Yeah, that one. So, first, we're gonna introduce my 1 year old brother, or no, I mean cousin, Alpine. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, very cute and funny. That's totally him. Say this. Yep, that's him. So yeah, that's very cute. He's only 1 year old and almost two. Yeah. So we're gonna start this episode. Okay, then. Hello, gods, mortals, demigods. Sorry, and maybe even a few nymphs listening out there. Welcome back to Tales of Olympus, the podcast where myths come alive and stories grow like a magical wheat in a field of legends. Hello everyone? You still there? Yeah, I think you're still there. Yep, sorry, so if today's episode is a little bit cringy, that's because, my grandparents are moving and, a lot of background noise. But I have to upload for you guys. So, again, thanks to all the listeners. We now have 9 countries. And yeah, that's you. That's part of your country, whoever you're listening right now. Today's story is about family, seasons, and powerful emotions that can move gods and shape the world. It's the tale of Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, her beloved daughter Persephone, and the dark and mysterious Hades, lord of the Underworld. This story explains how the Greeks think they got the seasons. And trust me, it's not just about spring flowers and falling leaves. It's also about love, grief, anger, and compromise between the gods. So let's begin. Okay, Demeter was one of the 12 great Olympians, the sister of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, and Hera and Hestia. But unlike them, Demeter didn't rule the skies, the sea, or the dead. She ruled over something just as powerful, life on earth. Demeter was the very goddess of harvest, grains, and fertility of the earth. That means she had very important jobs, making sure the land was healthy, the crops grew tall, and the people didn't go hungry. And whenever someone planted seeds in the ground, they said a prayer to Demeter. Whenever someone harvested golden wheat, they gave thanks to her. She made sure rain fell at the right time, and the sun shone just enough, not too hot and not too cold. She was gentle but also mighty. If people disrespected her, or if the gods made her angry, she could stop all growth and bring famine to the world. But there was something, or rather someone, even more important to Demeter than crops or offerings or anything else. Her daughter, Persephone. Okay, sorry, my cousin's a little excited about the whole new house thing. So, deepest apologies. Yeah, next time I promise it won't be like that. So, Persephone wasn't just a goddess. She was the light of Demeter's world. She was kind, curious, and full of joy, and brought laughter and flowers wherever she went. She spent her days picking wildflowers, dancing in meadows, and running barefoot through the hills. So, pause for a moment and we'll be fine. Okay. Oh, God. Demeter loved Persephone more than anything. Some say even Some even say she loved her too much, protecting her from the dangers of the world, never letting her stray too far. But you know what happens in myths when gods try to protect something too tightly, right? Exactly. Trouble comes anyways, and this time it comes from below, from the shadowy king of the dead, and from that, that's from Hades. Okay. One day, Persephone was doing what she loved most, picking flowers in a beautiful meadow. The sky was blue, the grass was green, and her laughter echoed through the hills. It was perfect, and she reached down to gather a flower so rare, and it shimmered like gold in the sunlight. And what she didn't know was that the flower was planted there on purpose, a trap set by none other than Hades, the god of the underworld. You see, Hades had been watching Persephone from afar. He was powerful, quiet, and a little lonely in his dark kingdom beneath the earth. When he saw Persephone, her brightness and joy lit something in the king of the dead. Instead of asking for her hand, he made a deal with his brother Zeus, the king of the gods. Wait, yep, you heard that right. Zeus, the ruler of Olympus and Demeter's own brother, and said yes. But okay, just a few recap here. You may not know this, but Persephone was the daughter of Demeter and Zeus. Yes, Zeus turned into lots of animals and chasing Demeter from there to here to there. And finally Demeter gave up, so they had Persephone. Well, I think it's that. Yep, it's that. Yep. So, yeah. Demeter's own brother, right? Very unusual. That's what happens in Greek mythology a lot. Whatever happened, Zeus said yes. He gave permission for Hades to take Persephone. So when Persephone picked at that glowing flower, the ground beneath her feet suddenly cracked open. The earth split apart, and from the dark depths rose a black chariot, pulled by shadowy horses. Persephone screamed, but no one could hear her. Hades reached out, grabbed her. In a flash, they disappeared underground. The earth sealed up behind them like nothing ever happened. Her flowers fell to the ground. Her cries vanished. And above the meadow, everything went still. When Demeter realized her daughter was gone, she was heartbroken. She searched the entire world, calling her name, asking gods and mortals alike if they had seen her. But no one told the truth, not even Zeus. Not at first. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Demeter grew angry. Her sorrow turned into fury. Plants withered, crops stopped growing, animals starved. The earth turned cold and gray because the goddess of the harvest was grieving. And nothing, not even the king of Olympus, could stop it. And the first winter had arrived, and it was the first the world had ever known. Demeter wandered across the world. She disguised herself as a mortal woman, with a cloak pulled over her head and sadness in her eyes. She traveled through cities, fields, forests, and even oceans, searching for her daughter. She refused to return to Olympus. She refused to let anything grow. The world was dying, but all she cared about was finding her daughter. Eventually, she reached the city of Eleusis. Wait, I think it's pronounced like that. Eleusis. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. And that's where she was welcomed by a kind family who didn't really know who she was. To them, she was just a regular old lady. But they gave her shelter, food, and warmth. In return, Demeter blessed their child, and from this visit, the Eleusinian mysteries were born, one of the most sacred rituals in ancient Greece. But even in this peaceful place, her heart still ached. Sorry. They finally, someone told her the truth. It was the sun god Helios, who sees all things from above. He couldn't keep the secret anymore. He told Demeter that Persephone had been taken by Hades, and with Zeus's permission. Can you even imagine how betrayed she must have felt? Her own brother, and Persephone's own father, the king of the gods, and helped steal her only daughter and her favorite one. Demeter was no longer just grieving, she was furious. She stormed back to Olympus and confronted Zeus in front of all the gods. You let Hades take her? She is my daughter, not a pawn in your games, Demeter said angrily. It was for the best. Hades is a nice and powerful god. He has wealth under the world, and if she is not returned, I will destroy the world you rule. I swear it. And Zeus didn't really have a choice. Well, he just thought that Demeter was just mad for a moment and will come back later. But guess what? Demeter meant it. She refused to let the earth grow again, ever. Snow piled up, rivers froze, trees stood bare. The mortals cried out for food. The world was on the edge of collapse. In that very moment, Zeus really had no choice. He sent Hermes, the messenger god, where we talked about in the birth of Hermes part, and went down to the underworld with one mission: bring Persephone back. But it wouldn't be that easy, because something will happen. Hermes flew down to the underworld as fast as the wind and arrived at Hades' dark palace. There he found Persephone, not crying or chained, sitting down beside Hades, quiet and distant. By now, months have passed. Demeter had changed. In the beginning, she had cried and begged to go home, but over time, the underworld had begun to shape her, just a little. She was still Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, but she had learned to walk among shadows and speak with spirits. Still, she missed the sun. She missed flowers, and she missed her mother. So when Hermes arrived and said, "Your mother is waiting. The world is dying without you," Persephone's heart leapt. She stood. She was ready to go. But Hades had one more move. Before she left, he offered her a small gift, a fruit, a seed. Red, juicy pomegranate seed. Persephone, without thinking, took it and ate it. And that changed everything. In the world of the gods, if you eat the food of the underworld, you are bound to it forever, even just a taste. Demeter didn't know. Hermes didn't know, but Hades definitely knew. When Persephone returned to the surface, Demeter was filled with joy. The flowers bloomed, the sun came out, the world came back to life. But then they learned the truth. Persephone had eaten a few pomegranate seeds. That meant she couldn't stay forever. Zeus, Demeter, and Hades held a meeting on Olympus. There had to be a deal. Since she ate the seed, she must return to the Underworld, Zeus said. Then I will freeze the world again. Let us compromise, Hades said, surprisingly calmly. So they agreed. Every year, Persephone would spend the part of the year with Hades in the Underworld, and the rest with Demeter on Earth. And that is how the seasons were born. When Persephone is with her mother, Demeter is joyful. Spring and summer arrive. When Persephone returns to the Underworld, Demeter weeps, bring fall and winter. It is a cycle of loss, love, and return, a rhythm that shapes nature itself. So, now that we've heard the story of Demeter, Persephone, and Hades, let's ask the big question. What does it mean? Why did the ancient Greeks tell the story? First, this myth is about nature. The ancient Greeks didn't have science books to explain why seasons change. And so they told the story. When Persephone is with Demeter, the earth is warm, happy, and full of life, just like a mother's joy. But when she leaves, Demeter mourns, and the world becomes cold and still, just like winter. Second, this story is about growing up. Persephone starts as an innocent girl picking flowers, but after going to the underworld, she changes. She becomes stronger, wiser, a queen. It shows that changes can be hard, but it's also part of life. Persephone learns to live in two worlds, and many of us do too, especially as we grow older. Third, this myth is about love. Demeter's love for Persephone is powerful enough to stop the world, and even Hades, though mysterious, cares deeply in his own way. But love doesn't always get everything it wants. Sometimes it has to share. Sometimes it has to let go, even just a little. The tale of Demeter and Persephone reminds us that life is full of cycles, joy and sorrow, light and darkness, summer and winter, and that even in the darkest moments, like the underworld, there's hope for spring again. So thank you for listening to Tales of Olympus. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on any podcast platform you're listening to, and leave a review on any platform, and you can even leave one on Podchaser. That is very much appreciated. And tell your friends, any of your friends, family that maybe can understand English and maybe show some interest in Greek mythology. Even if they don't, you can still share it. Maybe they will get to like Greek mythology because of you, because of us. Okay, next time we'll be diving into another myth and maybe one with a magical fort or a goddess of wisdom. But we finished all that. But maybe we will start a new sort of story since I think we finished the Olympian stories. If we haven't, I'll make sure it does in the next episode. And if we finished it, we will talk about like the Trojan War, the Argo, Theseus and the Minotaur, Hercules and Heracles, and all those other stuff. But you'll have to tune in to find out. Until next time, stay mythtastic. My name is Ariel, I'm 10 years old, and I will see you next episode. Whoa! And I'll say, you okay? Okay. I'll say goodbye to all of you for my cousin. Yeah, really cute guy. So that's it, guys. Bye!